On today's Apple Daily, free AirPods with iPhone 11 in India's new store for Diwali. The Kang Files, probably the most accurate Apple leaker in the world. And even more details coming via Max Weinbeck.
This is the Apple Daily.
I'm David for Living on iPad, and I simplify Apple so that everything just works for you. And if you want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours every weekday at 12 UTC, plus a whole bunch of extra stuff this week because we've got an iPhone event coming up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so that you can join my notification squad and you won't miss a thing. And if you're one of the 80-ish% of people that are not subscribed and watching, you can add to this number here. That is my live subscriber count at the time of filming, which is going to be fun when we look back on this in a few months and it's a much bigger number, hopefully. That's down to you. Free AirPods with iPhone 11 in India's new store for Diwali. From October 17th, the iPhone 11 and presumably the 11 Pro will attract a free AirPods deal when you order through the Indian Apple Store. That is through for Diwali and starts, as I say, on October the 17th. Now, hilariously, that does mean that if you order an iPhone 11 in India, you will get 2 pairs of headphones, whereas the new iPhone 12s will come with 0 headphones wherever you happen to be. And that doesn't seem very fair to me. Apple's Indian store launched on September the 23rd with a full range of Apple services, including specialist shopping assistance, educational pricing, and everything else you expect from Apple, including servicing and all that kind of thing. The Kang Files, probably the most accurate Apple leaker in the world. So, leaks emerged on Friday after we'd done our show and then our follow-up show because of John Prosser's late night leaks in America from Kang on the Chinese social network Weibo. Kang has an AppleTrack record of 97.8%, which is pretty epic. So this is probably slightly more accurate than Apple themselves because do you remember that blunder when they thought that AirPower was coming out a few years back? Given that record, here is what we will almost certainly be seeing tomorrow. Also, if you want no spoilers for tomorrow, just turn this off now, but don't turn it off, I need the watch time. First of all, HomePod Mini, 3.3 inches tall, S5 processor, so that's the same as in the Apple Watch Series 5 or the new SE, starts at $99, price tag, pre-orders start the 6th and 7th of November, to ship in the middle of November. So that's pretty cool, brand new product, brand new kind of category. Well, I mean, it's still double the price of like an Echo Dot, but I'm guessing it's going to sound far, far better. Then we get into the iPhones. So, iPhone 12 mini, we got some specs for you. Obviously, A14 chips across the board here. iPhone 12 mini with a 5.4-inch Super Retina XDR display, wide and ultra-wide rear cameras with an f1.6 aperture. That is pretty wide, to be completely honest. I think they got to 1.4 at one point, but f1.6, pretty great. Native Dolby Vision shooting, so that's like HDR, but it's kind of Dolby's version of it, I think. Colours, it will come in black, white, red, blue and green colour options. Wireless 15-watt charging. Now, this might be part of the reason they're not putting a charging brick in the packet, because those used to be a 5-watt, so if you want to go for the wireless charging option, you are going to need a 15-watt charger, and we'll come to more of the charging stuff in a minute. Millimeter wave 5G on US models. Now, we did not expect this to be coming on anything but the Pro models, but it looks like they are going to be throwing in the 5G millimeter wave into all of the US models from what I'm reading here. Smart data mode. That means that they're going to use 4G for the stuff where you don't need the speed of 5G because 5G uses way more battery than anything else, and then it clicks into the 5G mode when you need it and when it's available. So that's quite cool. Storage options, 64 gig, 128 and 256. Starting price, $699, which is pretty good. $699 that is. Don't know how that will translate into other countries because it seems to change from week to week what their exchange rate is, but there you go, that's what it's down as. Pre-orders start, now this was one of the later ones, 6th and 7th of November for pre-orders, ships on the 13th or 14th of November. Then we've got the iPhone 12, which basically has the same specs except for these parts. A 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display. Now it looks like the same displays are going into the Pros and the regular models, which is quite impressive because it means that they're getting really great displays. Although the Pros have been rumoured to maybe be getting 10-bit colour. Don't know how much difference that will make to most people, but it might be important if you are actually a photographer and you know what you're doing with high-end colouring. So 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display, $799. Pre-orders start on the 16th of October, so that's the Friday after the event. That's this Friday coming, and ships 23rd and 24th of October. Then we move up to the Pros, so we got iPhone 12 Pro, 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display, wide, ultra-wide and telephoto lenses with 4x optical zoom, which is I think double the zoom level previously, and aperture of f1.6 again, native Dolby Vision again, new 7-element camera lenses, LiDAR sensor, colours, gold, silver, graphite, which I'm guessing is going to be basically space grey, maybe they're renaming it, and blue. Wireless 15-watt charging, millimeter wave 5G on all US models, smart data mode, storage starts at 128, 256 and 512 gigabytes, $9.99 starting price in US dollars, and same pre-order and shipping dates as the iPhone 12, so 16th of October for pre-orders, 23rd and 24th for shipping. And then we go up to the iPhone 12 Pro Max with the longest name in the world, except for obviously anything made by anyone else. 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR display, the biggest display ever on an iPhone. We're getting almost up to iPad mini kind of levels of display size there. Same camera styles as the 12 Pro, but with a 5x optical zoom and 47% bigger sensors. That is going to make a big difference. $10.99 starting price, same shipping dates as the Mini, so we're looking at 6th and 7th of November to pre-order, shipping on the 13th and 14th of November. And then, as I mentioned, 15-watt wireless charging. Apple is also set to announce MagSafe charging pads. So they've changed the name. They're not going with AirPower because they want to get as far away from that name as possible, presumably. They're going to MagSafe, which is a great name. It's what we used to get on the MacBooks. Fingers crossed that means that they might revive it for Macs as well down the line, because MagSafe was just like the best thing ever. When you tripped over your cable, it just pulled off of your Mac instead of ripping it off the table or destroying your ports. And it's coming in MagSafe Charging Pad and MagSafe Duo if you've got two devices to charge. And by all accounts, the magnet ring that we've seen leaked in the back of the iPhone cases will magnetically attach to the charger, which might well look like an oversized version of the Apple Watch charger, that little charging puck, so that your phone is always charging at the full 15 watts because it's perfectly centered on the charging coil. There is no mention of Apple Silicon, which is so disappointing to me. Fingers crossed maybe they still mention it, but hopes are slipping. So it looks like we are going to have that November event, and that is when all the Apple Silicon stuff's going to come. Just means we get to chat again. But the other thing that also means, from my point of view, is that if we are having a whole event for Apple Silicon, or an event that's primarily around Apple Silicon, I can't imagine they're going to launch one system. We may well get 2 or maybe even 3 options. Could we get an iMac before Christmas? Maybe the 24 is coming. Our last segment is some rumours that have come through @PineLeaks on Twitter, which we believe is Max Weinbeck's leak account. iPhone 12 mini has a more compact notch, which we had heard rumoured, but people have been asking why they couldn't have that smaller notch then on the bigger devices. This might be why. It's also deeper into the display as they've had to rearrange the components to fit, but the Face ID across all of the devices will be faster and work at more wide angles. In addition to the iPhone 12 Pro's optical zoom, the iPhone 12s and 12 mini will also get significantly improved zoom range and quality because they're adding in computational photography for that, which is going to improve the quality drastically. That will also be used obviously on the Pro models. They will also have the more powerful optical zoom. Ultra wide cameras are getting a wider aperture, which means they'll be better in low light conditions and night mode, but also add a macro feature so that you can do real close-ups. That's pretty cool. They've said that's not going to be like a flagship feature, but it might be kind of more of a symptom of the fact that they're giving it the larger aperture. The Pro models will get an extra hour of battery compared to last year's models. However, the Mini might last a little bit less time between charges because it has got that smaller form factor and smaller battery. 4K at 240 frames per second is looking like it's going to be coming. It will probably be only on the high efficiency format, so that HEIC or HEVC format, and then 120 frames per second in slow motion in the regular, more compatible format. To be honest, I've moved back to the more compatible because I've got enough iCloud space, and it really annoys me when it has to convert everything before it sends it to my Mac if I'm doing any processing. Now, there is also hardware included for portrait video, which is something that I've been talking about for a little while. That was exactly why I think that the LiDAR sensor is being included in these phones, but it looks like the software might not be ready for the launch. That said, the tweet said it might be until iOS 15 and the iPhone 13 before this actually gets launched. I can't see that happening. I would honestly think if it isn't ready for the launch, it's going to be one of those things that they say, and coming later this year, or and coming in January, portrait video, here's a demonstration. This is why you should have the hardware so that it will be ready for it when this arrives. That's my thoughts. I'm not giving up hope on portrait video because I think that would be absolutely epic. That is one of the things that featured in my iPhone 12 Pro Max Creator Edition video, where I was talking about how perfect it is for YouTube creators because you can do the whole whack on there. I will link to that video just up here, and you can check that one out. I need to know from you guys, which iPhone is it that you are most excited about? Are you going for the Mini? Are you going for the Pro Max? Something in between? Are you going to go for it on the launch day, or are you going to wait until those two really different phones arrive? That 47% bigger sensors in the Pro Max is going to make a hell of a difference. The bigger you can get a sensor, the more light you can grab, the better, the less noise you're going to have, the better low light, absolutely. And the night mode is going to be insane with that thing. I really want the Pro Max, but it will depend on what the differences look like when Apple actually announces it. But at the minute, that's the one that I want. And I think I can justify it. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to join my notification squad so you don't miss anything, especially this week when we've got so much going on, even if you're already subscribed, make sure you ring the bell and let me know in the comments if you have done that. If you rung my bell, let me know in the comments so that I can give you a shout out in the next video as a member of my notification squad. It's going to be a crazy one tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we might not know anymore. We might know a lot more. You never know, but tomorrow morning will mainly be just a hype show. So let's get on with it. Let's party. Let's have a great time. And you can bet your bum there's going to be some videos tomorrow as soon as the keynote wraps up. See you then.